Sure. My name is Adam Roop. I'm an environmental planner with JEO Consulting Group, and we're hired by the Upper Big Blue NRD to help out to facilitate some stakeholder engagement related to their water quality management plan and the implementation of it. The process began last winter. We put together essentially a plan of how we would like to reach out to and engage with stakeholders. And what we ended up doing was a series of 3 different meetings over the winter, one each month, and we met virtually. And then it kind of culminated in today's event, which is a public open house where we've got stations that folks can go around and see what we discussed, what some of the ideas and recommendations were, and then provide some of that direct one-on-one feedback today. This station here it kind of covers what the stakeholder process, kind of a summary of that process, what it looked like, where the stakeholders live within the watershed, and we recruited a geographic dispersion of stakeholders to try to get all the viewpoints that we could get. So that's shown here, and then also directly behind me, this is kind of a summary of what the stakeholders, what we discussed, and what a lot of the recommendations and ideas were kind of based around. There was probably quite a few themes that came out during the discussions with the stakeholders. A lot of discussion about the need for education and outreach regarding water quality issues within the watershed, and about education outreach around best management practices that could be taken to help improve the water quality and reduce pollution. We also talked about some of the information and water quality monitoring needs that are there, just so everyone can learn more and study what's going on and how things are or aren't improving. And then we got into a really good conversation about the types of BMPs that folks are most interested in. And those primarily revolved around cover crops, buffer strips, irrigation water management, and no-till practices is kind of the most interest that was gathered. And we also worked to identify some of the barriers to implementing those, whether it's operators not having enough time to install some of the practices or maintain them, or if there was equipment barriers, maybe for like seeding cover crops, or just doing some of the maintenance on the best management practices. So wanted to identify what those were, and then in the water quality plan try to find ways to overcome those barriers. And so yeah, that was kind of the major outcome of it, is and then having a better idea moving forward how to implement those.